Welcome back, folks. Dow's off 12. S&P's down 9 points. Let's go out to Orlando and speak with Dudley. Dudley, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Fine, David. Steve, I'm used to listening to David a little bit.
Well,
Hey,
I like listening to David as well, so I get it. So thanks for listening to both of us. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You want to take a look at Intel? Tell me what you're looking at, how I can help you, what time frame it is you're thinking of, and so forth.
Well, I'd like to go in a long position, and
okay.
It seems to be maybe basing in here a little bit. It hit kind of a high this morning, up 53 and a fraction.
Yes.
And it's pulled back, and it looks like it's trying to base in here a little bit. I'd like to pick it up in there around the 50 or something like that. What do you think?
So if we take a look at, thanks for calling, thanks for asking the question here. Here's one of the things that I would be taking a look at inside of Intel. Now, one of the tools or patterns that I like to use, there's several of them, when individual equities, futures, whatever they are, when they make highs, sometimes they sing in the key of Steve. Do you like a Stevie Wonder song?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good, because Intel is singing in the key of G. It is the Stevie Wonder, and that's what it did on Friday when it moved to high ground out there. And if you take a look at the swing point would be where we start to see a change in trend from what it previously was doing. And where I would choose that point would be the low of February the 9th. And then what I like to do is incorporate the Chapman wave. That's where this seventh wave, or singing the key of G, really comes from. And then start doing the wave count. And interestingly enough, on Friday, what Intel did was made that seventh wave move. Now, we're getting the confirmation of it today because, at least as of this stage, it hasn't made a higher high. It has not taken out the high from Friday. So oftentimes where we see that seventh wave move, Dudley, is where we can see the most significant change in trend, in this case here, to the other way. So I think $50 is more than a reasonable level, but it may want to actually pull back to lower price. Would you like to buy this at a lower price?
Well, yeah, I see that, what is that, about $45.
Well, let's take a look at a couple different things out here. One of the things I also want to do, and I know David would be a big proponent of this because he was the one who went ahead and solidified that into my thinking, which was to make sure before you start taking a look at an individual stock, make sure you get the market and then the sector right. Now, the market is a bit more challenging, perhaps, than the sector. Now, here's the interesting thing about the sector, the semiconductor sector. Just as you and I looked at Intel and saw that it made a high with that seventh wave move, or that letter G, the sector has made a bottom thus far with a seventh wave move. In the case here, we do the exact same counting of these waves out here, but our beginning where we saw that change in trend, Dudley, was on March 13th. And when we start doing the count on the way down, well, the trading session of April the 25th gave us that seventh wave letter, or the letter G on my screen. The problem is that in order to confirm this move, price needs to close above Stevie's red line. It's referred to also as the oscillator and change line. And Dudley, right now, that is priced at 1267.64. I could not suggest to you to enter a long trade inside of Intel or any other individual equity until the sector at least gave us some type of bullish sign. And thus far, it hasn't. In fact, it does suggest that maybe this was a failed seventh wave move and price is going to move lower. Because as long as price trades below Stevie's red line of 1267 and change right now, what the semiconductor index has is a falling price oscillator below zero. And therefore, you have one of the stronger stocks in this sector that's weak out here, and eventually that will just give way. And that may have been the message of Friday's action inside of Intel. Now, I want to answer your question, which was, or I said I could, so we have opposing forces here in the market. That's really never a good thing, especially when you want to put your hard-earned money and capital to work out here. So I'm going to fall back and take a look at these market profiles. Now, market profiles provide you and I with some levels of support or resistance. And I take a look at this on a daily, weekly, and a monthly time frame out here. Would it be fair to say that you're looking at this as a more of an intermediate term as opposed to a trade holding? Or tell me your time frame horizon.
Actually, I'd like to get into it and just stay.
All right.
I've tried
Perfect.
Day trading, and I've tried other methods, and I've been unsuccessful.
Let's go down the process here. Let's go down the process that Intel gave you that topping signal. And at this stage here, the semiconductors have given us a fail pattern, a failure, telling us that at this stage here, we don't know that it's formed a bottom. And then if that's the case, I would say to you, your buy and hold strategy, until something else changes in the market, you want to take a look at the price level of about 44.39. And it's a very good chance that Intel will get down there. The reason that I say that is when we take a look at this weekly chart, and that's more appropriate with the time frame that you're thinking, the structure of this box is bearish, and price was unable to take out resistance 52.61. And as Tom likes to say, if you can't bust them up, maybe price is going to go bust them down. In the case of Intel, if it tries to bust it down to the lower levels out here, 44.39 would be the area that I'd be paying attention to. So the other thing you've got to do is figure out what the market is doing. And I don't think the market yet has really generated for us the ultimate buy signal. So I'd be patient out here. You know, it's your hard-earned capital. Intel, great-looking stock. I don't think that it alone will be able to define the sector. And until that sector gives us a bottom signal, just keep your powder dry.
Very good. Very good.
Right.
I like that, Steve. And
all right.
I like that summation there.
Like any good patient, though, all right, I know that you're going to get a second opinion. So I call David and get his opinion as well, okay? And see if you can get a unanimous vote.
No, that's I think it's a little bit of not. I hate to say Alzheimer's, a little bit of something slipping in upstairs when I made that Freudian slip.
No. Hey, that was a compliment. That was a compliment. So we'll take it like that. All right, my friend. Okay. Anything else I could do for you, Dudley?
Oh, listen, very nicely done, and thank you very much for taking time out for me.
My pleasure. Thanks for listening to us. We really appreciate it. That was Dudley in Orlando, and maybe Dudley's helping us to really try to figure out this market too. Interesting, isn't it? You have the sector making that seventh wave move to the downside, and you got Intel making a seventh wave move to the upside. Which one is telling us the truth out there in this game of liar's poker? Right now we got the Dow off 5, the S&P's down 9, NASDAQ off 47. You know, tomorrow is May 1st, that old sell in May thing. So we'll take a look at that. We'll try to answer that crystal ball question of where are the markets headed. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.